A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome into tonight's coverage of the Venom Truck Series back at Kansas Speedway for the second time in series history. And boy, after a very interesting night last week, it's going to be interesting here again today under the sunshine this time. It's the Honey Wagon 201 presented by Southeast Hydrovac here at Kansas, the fifth round of the ninth season of the VTS. It is the Booth Boys reunited after a couple of wonky broadcasts. It's Tommy Cook, it's Matt Williamson, back together again at last. Matt, welcome back. We're in the booth in its usual incarnation, and we're here at Kansas Speedway, which has proven to be an interesting one by the looks of practice.
Yeah, good to be back here in full strength, full capacity after what we thought was going to be a longer week last week, but that turned into not being a longer week. And, of course, I was out last night, and I missed an interesting one by the sounds of it. So, yeah, good to be back here at Kansas. This one has been putting on really good races since the Oval refresh, especially with the trucks. Looking forward to kind of more of the same of that here tonight. and the Venom boys are looking to get after it after their week last week, getting to have some fun with Tommy Cook out on the racetrack as well.
I don't know if anybody really had any fun, but regardless, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings. We are officially 4 races into this 9th season, and it doesn't feel like, other than really just a couple of drivers, really the top 3 in the point standings you see here, it doesn't really feel like anybody has any momentum right now. It's been a weird start.
Yeah, it has. I mean, I think that's just a testament to the amount of preparation that the drivers in the Venom Truck Series are putting in, and also just the caliber of drivers and the amount of talent we have here in the series. But you're right, Matt Schlosser is atop the points right now, and he's just done it very consistently. Hasn't done anything extremely crazy. He's just been extremely consistent. He finds himself in that first position. Luke Peterson, of course, with the big first win in his career just a couple of weeks ago. He sits there in second. Chad Stearns, also somebody that's just been quietly consistent, but that is always the MO of Chad Stearns. Not surprised to see him there in third. Zach Lockett sits there in fourth, keeping his strong showing from the end of last season going. He's there in fourth. Hayden Palumbo sits in fifth. Josh Freed, Brantley Gainey, Kyle Zittel round out the top 8. Jeremy McKinnon and Andy Poliski right there at the cut line. Of course, a long ways to go before we really have to start paying attention to that. John Kay outside of the points right now. He's had a couple of weeks of misfortune. Josh Matichek, Jan Van Leer, Austin Holyfield, and Ryan Dye sit there in the top 15.
New for this season, brand new for tonight, we are going to be seeding for the Car Inside in-season tournament. Not sure what is really at stake other than some bragging rights, but the top 16 finishers in tonight's race will be seeded accordingly for an in-season Venom Truck Series tournament courtesy of our buddy Nathan Reynolds at Car Inside. So that is just another little wrinkle into the proceedings here tonight in the Honey Wagon 201 presented by Southeast Hydrovac. And it's about time to roll on to tonight's starting grid. We'll get to the track conditions here in a minute. Things are very interesting here at Kansas. 31 drivers will get after it here tonight at the 1.5 miles for 134 laps. And taking the pole position here at Kansas for the 6th time in his career. He's the first driver to get a repeat on the pole position here this season. Brody Gunter will lead the field to the green. It will be last week's big race winner, Jeremy McKinnon, coming off of his 6th career Venom Truck Series victory in his first in Season 7. He will start in the outside front row. Joshua Matichek is one driver that feels like he's been spinning his wheels a little bit here this season. He is just outside of the cut line as they run, and he will be looking for his his second top 10 finish of the season here tonight from a 3rd place starting spot. Tyler Logan with a great start here. Good opportunity to make stuff happen from P4. Jan Van Leer will round out your top 5 starters. Your Daytona winner, Ryan Dye, was not happy with his pace in practice, but that did translate to a great qualifying run for him, starting on the outside of row 3. Hayden Palumbo, Josh Freed, 2 drivers high up in the point standings. They will start on row 4. Matt Schlosser is your points leader, and your reigning series champion, John Kay, will start to his outside in 10th. Luke Peterson and last week's pole sitter, Brantley Gainey, he finished P4, and he will start in 12th. Josh Jackson, Kyle Zittel on row number 7. Zach Lockett on a terrific tear right now, but he'll have to start deep here with P15. And Steve Rummett to his outside at 16th. Eric Breeding, Kevin Sargent, Chad Stearns back in 19th, Austin Holyfield in 20th. Rest of your starting lineup will scroll on by. One thing to note, Brody Gunter did score the pole, but he has an EOL penalty to serve after some contact at Kern County. So he is going to drop to the tail of the field, and that will move Joshua Matichek up onto the pole position. Matt, let's look at the weather conditions here. We are on 2x sim time speed, and I can tell you this much, the track temperature has gone up 20 degrees since the start of practice, but how is that?
Yeah, the track temperature right now is at 100 degrees. Ambient temperature is actually fairly low, just a lot of sunshine going on here. So, if the track temperature continues to get hotter, we are really going to see the drivers searching around from the top to the bottom of this racetrack to find the quick lines around. That is going to be something great to watch. We always love that. 134 laps here. Pit windows around lap 50. No fast repairs as always, and we are getting ready to go green.
We are underway here at Kansas. The Honey Wagon 201 and all these chariots to fire headed towards the Hollywood Casino in turns 1 and 2. Maticek assuming the pole position, and he will assume the lead outright and try and slide up in front of your defending race winner, Jeremy McKinnon. Defending race winner from last week, that is. Steve Roman won here back in season number 7, last time we were in action at Kansas. Nice crossover there from McKinnon as there's one driver slow on the top side of the track. It's Ryan Dye. He'll give up a handful of positions. A side-by-side for the race lead. McKinnon will lead the opener.
Some 3 wide inside the top 10 already as well, as McKinnon continues to stick it to the bottom right on the white line through turns 1 and 2.
Maticek was in the booth with us last night in the Truck 200 broadcast, and he and John Kay went straight from the booth into ripping some practice laps. Their own little private test session, since they didn't get to do it with the rest of the Venom Truck Series drivers. So Maticek giving chase here to McKinnon. And even in the daylight here, a little bit hotter temperatures, like you said, the big difference between the ambient temperature and the track temperature here. We saw under the lights that the drivers eventually would migrate up to the top side of this track. Is that a cool temperature thing, or do you think that's going to be the way forward here today as well?
I think it's definitely going to be viable today as well. I actually think the bottom is going to go away a little bit more quickly than it would normally, but the drivers might not stay on the top side as they normally would in the past. It might actually end up migrating back to the bottom, as Jeremy McKinnon's going to migrate back to the bottom and try and take back this first position that Maticek took from him just a lap ago.
Yeah, he did not have much of a choice there, as Maticek gave him an old dirt track slider. McKinnon a little more graceful with his, but will regain the top spot nonetheless. Saw a lot of this last night at Las Vegas as well, as we are 3 wide just outside of the top 10, gaining on the top, Roman on the middle, and Dye going to go backwards, continue to go backwards here on the bottom.
The other thing that the hot track temperatures bring into play is you're going to have to save your tires a little bit better than you did previously with the cool track temperature. That is going to come into play as well.
Got a couple of Maticeks in the chat. Hello to Bailey Marie. Hello to Robin. Hello to Rob Williams and Lindsay G here as well.
Brantley's trying to make his way into the top 10 right now, as he is side by side with Steve Roman to try and do it.
And he broke up that 3 wide with Ryan Dye, but still managed to be alongside Roman, but now will, right on cue, move up to the top side and start to motor around here in a hurry. Next up will be Tyler Logan for P9.
Tyler Logan's found himself 3 wide a couple of times early in this one. He's dropped a few positions. But it could be the 98 trying to save a little bit here. He's going to find his way to the top.
Jeremy McKinnon kissed the wall a little bit out of turn number 2, but Maticek not able to take advantage. Let's see, with a bit of a breakaway back to Jan Van Leer there in third.
Seen that from a couple of drivers inside the top 10 here so far. Saw John Kay kiss the wall. Matt Schlosser did the same a few laps ago on entry into 1. Speaking of John Kay and Matt Schlosser, they were on the Venom cast. Oh no, Ryan Dye!
Save it!
Oh my.
Oh, my.
Austin Holyfield, almost a Ryan Priest moment there for the 10.
Oh, and Pascal Simard with a late addition to the wreck there as well. And Ryan Dye trying to nurse those tires early, I think, but still, that right rear tire probably a bit hot. Got out from underneath this 20 truck, and he is in trouble here early. Not showing that he has a meatball flag, but he'll have a lot of damage to repair here. We're under caution here for the first time on lap number 9.
Take a look back at the replay here. This is Dye through turns 3 and 4. Seems starting to turn down the racetrack. And as he's coming off of turn 4. Oh, he got into the wall. It was actually more of an instance of being tight than loose. Gets up into the wall off of 4, tries to yank it down, and he does. But not without going for a little bit of a spin. And Holyfield thought Ryan was going to go all the way up to the wall after coming back on the racetrack, was going to try and go to the bottom, but Dye makes the good save. But unfortunately for Austin, didn't want him to make that good of a save.
As you keep taking replays of this, I'm going to have you rack one up here. Another one in just a second. We had an incident under caution between Matt Schlosser and Jan Van Leer. They were running in 3rd and 4th, so we'll have to take a look at that here.
Well, we'll go ahead and see if we can find that. Not sure if this will be... Oh, there's already some smoke in the air. We'll see if we can back it up. Oh, and Jan Van Leer is completely backwards there. And it looks like Schlosser comes in not realizing how slow he was. Let's play it here. Wow, yeah, Schlosser right into the back of Jan Van Leer. Jan, pretty good damage. I mean, he hits the outside wall decently hard. Schlosser, of course, is going to have quite a bit there as well. Interesting. I don't know if that was just a case of maybe paying more attention to your black boxes than the racetrack, or there was a sudden slowdown. Not quite sure what happened there.
Can't say I haven't done that before. And not only that, I can't say I haven't done that to Jan Van Leer before, because I did that exact same thing to him on the car inside tour under the caution. Was looking at my gauges, looking at my boxes, and just plowed right into the back of him and turned him around. So, Jan, I'm sure, not very happy about that. He did have to come down pit road and get that damage inspected. Quite a few other drivers did as well. Austin Holyfield, of course, with damage. Pascal Samard, likewise. Josh Freed, Garrett Rainey, Leo Smith, Brian Mitchell, Tyler Berger, Greg Bradshaw, and David Fay, all down pit road. Ryan Dye has retired that number 20 machine.
Yeah, he was a quick exit from the car inside cameras. He was one of them that we were hoping to be able to watch a little bit here tonight. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. Oh, Monacek, not a very good start. Schlosser.
Yeah, Monacek did not get a good start there. Luke Peterson on the outside did not get a good start there. This field is all torn up. Not in the literal sense, but spatially.
Schlosser, everything he had not to run Monacek over on the restart there.
And the big beneficiary might be Hayden Palumbo, who was having a crack here at second on the outside. And he should be able to take it with the momentum there off the top side. Palumbo to P2. Still chasing McKinnon.
Comes John Kay as well. John was going to try and take a look at that outside. We see the bottom still rolling strong here. Single filed out quite a bit, though. Oh,
we got one up in the wall.
Yeah, up into the wall. Tried to rail the high side through turns 3 and 4. And there are a lot of drivers with a big run on the 22. Steve
Lots of
Roman,
shuffling.
Steve Roman, Kyle Zittel, they're going to get through. And Chad Stearns, Tyler Logan, they're still going to have a good run here. Right around the top 10, we are stacked up big time. Gainey, Logan, Stearns, Brody Gunter, Zach Lockett, and Andy Poliski are all right here together.
Remember, Gunter got the pole, but had an EOL to serve from Kern County. He was not here at Auto Club last week, had to take his provisional. Now he is sticking his nose in the middle, 3 wide. And he's got the run.
John Kay also looking underneath of Matacek way down on the bottom. Gunter not able to hold it very well there in the middle.
That's
Kay underneath of
nerve-wracking.
Matacek still working for a podium position. Luke Peterson, who won the last mile-and-a-half race we had in the Venom Truck Series, he is looking to take another here. Another strong
Matacek.
showing. Wow.
Oh, and Peterson going to get hit from behind into Roman. And Peterson going to come back up the track. And that is big problems here for the 38. What an awkward spot there for Matacek to be in. It put him in such a bad place with dirty air on his left front and his left rear. Then the contact from Peterson to Matacek. Vroman nowhere to go into the back of the 38. And Luke Peterson, for the second night in a row, gunning for a spot high in the running order and goes for a spin.
Well, let's take a look. And Tommy, you mentioned it. Matacek with John Kay right up against him. Not a whole lot of space to go. Peterson had a huge run. He couldn't really go anywhere with it either. In fact, made a little bit of contact with Matacek there. Had to check up big time. There's the contact between Peterson and Matacek. Peterson has to check up, slow down a little bit. And Vroman's going to try and go down low. I think Peterson was kind of thinking the same. But Vroman had way more speed, and they came together. Going to be quite a bit of damage to the right front of the 38. Wow, look at that. Kyle Zittel. Fantastic awareness to get down. Brantley Gainey with a great one as well. Got on the binders quickly and turned that truck down the racetrack. It's a miracle that nobody else piled in there.
Yeah, I think Brantley Gainey's pitting for a change.
Let's back it up, and we're going to go full speed into turn 1 here with Peterson. You hear him back out of the throttle. He sees Matacek in the wall, thinks about going low, but Vroman is thinking about the same thing with a lot more speed. Nice job from everybody to keep it as clean as they can, though. Speaking of Luke, he is running a car inside camera for us here. So we'll check in on the 38. Kind of see where his head's at a little bit. He's going to be deep in the pack at this point. One good thing he's got going is only about half the folks in the field came down for tires. So should this thing go green for a while, he's going to have a big advantage in that aspect.
He was battling late in the race last night with James Lehman for a podium position, and those two ended up getting together. And they both ended up finishing, and Peterson actually powered his way back into the top 10. But that's 2 nights in a row racing for position, and a little innocuous contact has some disastrous results. So we'll see if Peterson can power his way back forward. One of the only, I mentioned the top 3 in the points. Really, it's the top 4 with Zach Lockett having any kind of momentum or through lines in the season. And Peterson's had problems here early, and Matt Schlosser with problems as well. So I guess that leaves Chad Stearns and Zach Lockett, who are nose to tail a little bit further back in this lineup. Jeremy McKinnon still in control. This one is now John Kay, who elects to restart on the inside, and McKinnon is off and running into turn number 1. Palumbo and Matichek are side by side for third. A
John
decent
Kay
one, Kyle
moves down
Zittel.
Down the racetrack to throw the block on his teammate there.
Well, John Kay said it last night. He races his teammates just like he races anybody else, and I guess there's the proof right there. Turns down nearly into the grass, trying to make up some ground on his former team owner, as Palumbo now underneath the 60. Kyle Zittel on the podium last night in truck 200. Just got awfully loose there, and a couple others behind him did as well.
Yeah, Brantley Gandy did also. He's got
Some
Brody
monkey see,
Gunter on
monkey
his
do.
outside now.
Pointing out as well under this caution, Tyler Logan apparently alt F4'd out of this race, but now is reconnected. I'm not sure what happened there, but it was not an internet disconnect from the looks of it.
Kyle
Doesn't
Zittel
matter,
putting
though.
his...
The power got pulled, one of the two. Ooh, that's an awkward
no.
spot there.
Now Chad Stearns is going to take his look down low.
Oh, boy. 3 wide.
Oh, no! Oh, are they going to save it? They are!
I think so.
Unbelievable.
Watching from up high, I think that was some netcode contact. They had a little bit of space between them. But either way, Zittel kept coming up the track there from the looks of it. Maybe we'll have to take a better look at it, but that was an incredible save by both of them. And now all of a sudden, look at the driver that's motoring up through the field. It's Steve Roman. Sends an absolute dart in there to try and slide up in front of Matichek. Now Matichek has one underneath of him on the apron. Stearns is the one moving forward.
Yeah, Stearns is up a lot of positions here. Biggest move of the race right now. It's plus 16. Oh, my goodness. Gunter nearly turned Vroman there. Had a ton of speed, a big run.
He wouldn't have had a choice. That was awfully close. Now Gunter underneath the 00. And Brantley Gainey again watching on as this field is getting squirrely in front of him. Nobody really seems to have a good handle on their truck except for the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, we're early in this one, but it's shaping up to be another classic. Lots of movers here, and the moves are able to be made. It's not one-lined whatsoever. You can go to the top, you can go to the bottom, you can even take them 3 wide in the middle if you get a good run.
Ambient temperature up another degree. Track temperature up another 6. And that is over 25 degrees difference from when practice started. It's up 6 from the start of the race.
Oh, Brantley Gainey pounds the wall going into 1. That's the second or third time we've seen folks hit the wall on entry into 1 there. Oh, no!
That's Vroman.
Roman,
And
Matichek,
Gunter. Gunter! Oh, he hits the wall. That was messy again. But
And
that's
it all
another one
happened-
where Brantley Gainey is going to be changing his shorts.
And it all happened around Matichek off of 2 again here.
Youch. Caution number 3 already.
Let's see if we can take a look here. I mean, Gunter was coming in here with a lot of speed. He was really fast on the bottom. Matichek was down there. He's going to try and take it up the racetrack while Steve Vroman's got a great run. think Monachek's going to get tight. Oh, yeah, Monachek was having to get out of the throttle because he was going to hit the wall. Roman, not a whole lot of places to go. So it's, man, Steve Roman and Josh Monachek again. Weren't those the two that kind of started the last one?
Kind of.
Roman
But they
into
had
the back of Peterson
yeah.
with Monachek there in front. Wow.
Minus a Peterson and a John Kay in the equation there.
Well, we'll take another look back, and I'm going to go on board with Monachek so you can hear him get out of the throttle because he was tracking towards that wall. Hear him back in the throttle pretty early in the middle of the corner, and it's too early. He's going to hit that wall, backs out of the throttle, and gets hit from behind. That is a pretty common occurrence at this type of a racetrack. And while we're there, let's find Steve Roman and see what he was looking at. I don't think Steve was expecting Josh to have to get out of the throttle. I think he thought he was fine to continue on as normal. So that'll bring us to our third caution here as you see Monachek headed down pit road another time. Likely to get more damage fixed, I would imagine.
So the top four in the lineup now have stayed out. Everybody else came in, but all the top four have been down pit road at some point in this race. That is Josh Freed now, the former points leader just a couple of races ago. Now in control of this field. Luke Peterson now will be on his outside. Brian Mitchell and Paul Sargent on row number 2. And Jeremy McKinnon won the race off of pit road. He'll restart in 5th. Next to Chad Stearns, who leapfrogs John Kay. Kay in 7th, Lockett 8th, Zittel 9th, and Garrett Rainey into the top 10. The restarts have not been very good. Let's see if we can get a good one under our belts. Hello to Paul Ellison. Whatever dark cloud was hanging over our race last night seems to have followed us to the start of this race, but it is early. We've got time to shake it as we're putting lap number 31 up on the board. Green flag. That was a better restart. Stearns basically bump drafting Paul Sargent into turn number 1, and Sargent gonna get shuffled out to the top side. Stearns ahead of McKinnon. As Freed leading them into turn 3. They are 3, nearly 4 wide back there.
Stearns is on the move here. Fresh tires. The first driver on that strategy sits in 3rd now. Just got around Brian Mitchell. John Kay on the same strategy as well, but might be trying to save a little bit more.
Yeah, Kay getting around McKinnon. Maybe Jeremy taking it a little bit easy here. As Stearns up onto Peterson, who has the freshest tires of the old tire drivers.
I don't think it's going to matter much.
I don't think so either. As Stearns will get through pretty easily here on Preach. And next up is his teammate in 939 Motorsports, Josh Freed, for the race lead.
There you see John Kay, Jeremy McKinnon right there in the picture trying to follow Chad through on the bottom. With all the cautions we've had so far, something else these drivers kind of have to worry about is whether they're going to have a set of tires left later on in this one. I mean, there's been enough cautions that you could kind of have your pick of the litter when you come in to take tires, but You got to make them last throughout this entire race. Man, that was close.
That was Peterson dooring Jan Van Leer, and Jan's got to be feeling pretty used up here at this point. Still 100 laps to go. To your point about tires, and also to see if anybody's going to have a truck left in 100 laps at this rate. As John looking for the lead underneath the 0-5. Shout out to Nagy in the chat 2 nights in a row, and Matt's actually here tonight.
Good to hear from Jacob Nagy, the touring fiddleman himself. He'll be in my neck of the woods here in just a couple of weeks, I think. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Paul Ellison, I don't know if we mentioned his comment about a lot of take and not a lot of give. That has certainly been the case with 3 cautions so far tonight, as your top 3 are absolutely nose to tail headed into turn number 3.
The back end, a lot of these trucks looks like a fiddler, that's for sure. They are just squeaking back and forth. And not the good kind of squeaking like Jacob Nagy does. These trucks look evil.
Top 3 continue to battle it out. Further back, some 2 wide action. There's a lot of drivers right outside the top 10 battling for positions. A lot of them have been involved in incidents or on different tire strategy. Josh Freed, Brantley Gainey, Andy Poliski, Brody Gunter, Luke Peterson, Tyler Bergert, who we haven't really talked about much tonight. He started pretty far in the field. He's up to 16th right now.
Well, yeah, Brantley Gainey has not been involved in any of the cautions, but he's been the harbinger of bad news, I think. I don't know if being around him is a good idea.
And Josh Freed on those old tires is just going to continue to lose positions here.
Let's give a call to Leo Smith, our friend from down under, running in P11. Pretty sturdy run thus far for the 57.
I'm sure there's a lot of drivers that were looking forward to a race of this nature where if you get a long green flag run, it can definitely get spread out. We've had a lot of races early on this season where everybody has been very, very packed together. I think some of these drivers are looking forward to getting a little bit spread out and being able to run their lines and, figure out the tire strategy and tire save strategy just kind of all by their lonesome, and I don't blame them.
Leo about to get passed up here by Brantley Gainey. Gainey going to the outside, looking for P11.
Just ahead of them, Cole Maxwell, Steve Roman battling for 9th.
Can't believe Roman's still up here. But Roman did win, well, last time we were here in season number 7. He's awfully fast.
Further up the road, some side-by-side. That's Hayden Palumbo and Zach Lockett battling for 4th.
Lockett trying to take this position away. He's been steadily reeling in the 54. 2 of the top 5 drivers in points. Lockett coming off of his first career points-paying podium with the Venom Truck Series. Of course, he won the All-Star race last season, but finished 3rd at Auto Club last week. 3 top 10 finishes in a row have landed him 4th in the standings entering tonight.
Lockett trying to get himself clear on the bottom, just could not quite get the job done there. And Jan Van Leer is coming up quick with these 2 battling side by side.
Jan Van Leer probably fueled by anger to some degree. but it's been a pretty good comeback drive thus far for the 5 after getting turned under the caution. And Matt Schlosser is outside of the top 20 right now, so this would be his first misstep of the season if it were to finish that way. Still a long time to go, though. 91 laps left in this one. Plenty of time. As Zittel now underneath of Jan.
Zittel looked like he was getting a little bit tight there. Off of 2. We've seen that a few times already tonight, and it will continue to go in that direction if the track temperature continues to rise. 108 degrees right now.
That's +8 from the drop of the green. And I believe +28 since practice opened.
Palumbo running the top. Lockett using the bottom again now. Not able to get even. Kyle Zittel's the one with a lot of pace there in the top 5 right now.
So Stearns and Kay have broken away from the rest of the pack. Kay was about to challenge for the lead, but has since backed off a couple of truck lengths and is trying to close back in.
And we're seeing the line migrate to the top of the racetrack now. A lot of drivers getting each other stacked up because they just can't make those moves on the bottom. We'll see if the line stays up on the top or if it eventually goes back to the bottom with the hot track temperature here.
Rainey, the one utilizing the top side right now to get around Steve Vroman, but caught a piece of the wall there at a turn number 4, and Vroman's going to come right back at him. Oh, one in the wall hard at a turn number 4. It's Tyler Bergert. He's dropped from 15th down to 19th and is still not quite back up to speed yet. We're still green.
Oh, Steve Vroman got up into the wall. Cole Maxwell's going to rocket around the bottom. Garrett Rainey took everything he had to get checked up and not run the 0-0 over.
And that's a 2-for-1 special over at dealdozforfree.com for the 69 truck.
And he's giving a push to the back of the 5 there as well. He had a hell of a run.
Vroman's got a big problem. He is still slow in the bottom of the track here. This 0-0 may have shot craps at the Hollywood Casino.
Yeah, he's coming down pit road.
Side by side for third. McKinnon will hang on. Now it's Zach Lockett with a big run on Hayden Palumbo after his failed bid. And Lockett will slot in line to 4th. Palumbo's starting to back up here big time. He's about to be in Jan Van Leer's headlights. Oh, now it's Lockett into the wall. And Palumbo will go right back on by. Oh, and Lockett's still in the wall. Big problems here on the 93.
And here comes Kyle Zittel. Just keeps moving forward.
Little by little.
This has been a good run for the 53 so far since we went back green on lap 30.
Oh, Palumbo now into the wall. Boy, that's the... that is tight.
We're going to be 3 wide. When the tires are starting to wear, 3 wide is very difficult. You see Kyle Zittel back out of it.
It's one thing for the track or the dominant line to migrate up towards the wall under the lights. But, man, these trucks are getting so tight, even with such a hot track temperature compared to the ambient temperature. These guys are really struggling on this top side. I mean, these are the drivers in the top 5, and we've just seen 3 of them hit the wall in the last 4 laps.
And keep in mind, we are only 21, 22 laps into this run. And the lap times for your leaders, the best lap time for Chad Stearns was a 31.48. His last lap, a 33.13. So over a second and a half of fall off already for your fastest drivers.
And to point out as well, John Kay's been faster both of the last 2 laps. He is cutting into this gap again. It's inside of 0.4 of a second. So Kay on the march back forward as Zittel and Palumbo side by side for spot number 6. We restarted this race on lap 31. We're coming to put lap 53 up on the board. What is our pit strategy looking like? Are we good on one more stop?
Oh boy, you're gonna make me do some quick maths here.
Gotta get you back in practice here.
I don't think they can make it. I mean, maybe with the amount of off throttle that they're going to have later on in a run, they might be able to, but I don't think they want to. I don't think it's going to be optimal with the amount of tire wear and the lap time fall off that we're seeing. I don't know if it's going to be worth it to try and stretch it out. I think you're just going to have to make it 2 more stops from here and not have a set of tires at the end, but realize that almost everybody else will likely be in that same position.
So how do you make that decision? How do you break those up if we are going for the 2-stopper? Because I agree, it's awfully close and not in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, if you're... For those drivers that came down on lap 28, we went green on lap 30. I mean, we're looking at 35 to 40 laps for this first run, maybe. So, I mean, we probably got another, I would say, 14 to 17 laps before we're going to start seeing some people duck down to pit road.
Cole Maxwell got up into the wall to turn number 4. He has lost 3 positions and might lose the 4th here to Garrett Rainey. But that moves Andy Poliski, Brody Gunter, and Brantley Gainey up into 8th, 9th, and 10th. And just as quickly as that gap was closing, it's now open back up for Chad Stearns. He's 0.6 of a second up the road from John Kay. And they are 2 3/4 of a second clear on Jeremy McKinnon in 3rd. Zach Lockett, after getting in the wall, is still hanging in 4th. And Jan Van Leer riding in P5. Kyle Zittel 6th. Hayden Palumbo 7th. Poliski, Gunter, Gainey the top 10. Lots of shuffling from 11th on back still.
I can almost guarantee that we're going to see John Kay come in at least 1 or 2 laps before Chad Stearns. When John Kay finds himself in these positions, he typically takes big swings at the strategy.
Well, Brian Mitchell, who was one of the drivers that stayed out under this most previous caution, has just come down pit road. So he definitely can't make it on one more stop. And if he can, then I'll have some questions, but he's in and out on lap number 55.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers would have to do 52 lap runs, and that's just... Oh, and you see Garrett Rainey getting down to come down pit road here. This is a little bit early.
Rainey will pull off from 12th. And I don't probably have the right radio channel on, but I didn't hear him call that out, and Leo Smith nearly piled into the back of him. So
yeah,
Rainey taking a swing.
It's a very tough pit entry, especially when you got drivers lined up behind you, is you have to get slowed down while you're on the racetrack. I mean, there's really nowhere to get slowed down on the apron, and then once you do get slowed down, it's not an easy, seamless transition from the banking to the apron. You got to be really careful when you're making your way across that white line and put yourself down onto the flat surface. It's easy to get yourself spun out there.
Well, Brian Mitchell may have started a movement here because Josh Jackson is coming down. And just as quickly as Chad Stearns was opening that gap up on John Kay, it's closed back into 0.3 of a second. Kay running the top side. Stearns has not. He is stuck tried and true to that white line all the way around this track. And hello to Ryan Dye hanging out with us as well. Now you're going to see Brian Mitchell fly up on these top 2. We'll see the difference in tire life here of about, 30 laps? Pretty close to that anyway, 25.
Yeah, it's almost 30 laps.
Josh Freed is down pit road. Paul Sargent is in as well. They both stayed out under this most recent caution.
Boy, John Kay has really closed this gap up to Stearns here in just the last few laps.
Kay looked tight out of turn 4. Very tight.
Zach Lockett's really closed the gap up to Jeremy McKinnon as well, but man, it's tough to make passes at this point in the run. You got to hope that the driver in front of you makes a little bit of a mistake.
Kay going for it. He closed that right up on the backstretch. Now it's Stearns going to the top side. Kay down on the bottom.
We're going to see
the
Kay
lap
get
truck.
tight off of 4. Boy,
Yep.
that was
almost Stearns' problem.
that was a gutsy move. But he had that run, felt like he had to take it.
Stearns played that wonderfully. And now he's up to the top side.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that when you're the driver up on the top is you kind of have the advantage. And you just have to make sure that they don't get clear of you on the bottom. And as long as they don't, you're going to have the momentum off the top side. And then you just got to hope that they don't blast into you when they get tight off the corner.
Stearns going to bump draft Brian Mitchell. And, a little netcode contact there. It gets the front end of the 05 upset.
Zach Lockett finally able to get through on Jeremy McKinnon. So Lockett up to 3rd.
The battle for 9th has been raging now for the better part of 3 laps as Gunter and Gainey were side by side, but Gunter's bounced it off the wall twice out of turn number 2. Gainey
look at that.
still can't get clear.
Right behind him, haven't talked about the 83 much at all tonight. That is Stickers McQueen's guy, Rodney Matney.
Matney up to 11th. May get himself up to 9th here as Jeremy McKinnon is starting to slide backwards. Jan Van Leer will get through on him.
I mean, we are right at the point where you can start coming down pit road pretty comfortably to split it in a couple more stops.
The top 2 will not be coming this time.
Oh, Gainey up into the wall. Trying to carry the momentum off the top side. Here comes
Gunter's
Brody
gonna pit.
Gunter.
Gunter from 10th looking for the undercut.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see most everybody come in the next 5 laps without a doubt, if I had to imagine.
So one driver pitting from around the top 10 already, Garrett Rainey, but that was, 6 or 7 laps ago now. Actually, almost 10 laps ago. So we'll see if Gunter is going to make anybody hit the panic button here and come in this time.
I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see John Kay come in. I thought for sure he was going to try and undercut by a couple laps Chad Stearns here.
Still may. Greg Bradshaw will pit from 13th, and he'll be the only one this time around.
Looked like a good entry there. Kyle Zittle next up to try and pick off Jeremy McKinnon before pit stops. McKinnon continuing his slide backwards.
Luke Peterson on the old tires is down as well. As Kay in lap traffic has lost touch with Chad Stearns, nearly a second behind now. And Hayden Palumbo from 7th is in. Brantley Gainey to follow from 10th.
Luke Peterson also in. Chad Stearns, John Kay still going to motor on through out of 4.
I'm with you. I'm surprised. Kay usually is the first one in, even if he's the leader. And he is losing time to Stearns here. Doesn't look like anybody from the top 10 is coming in this time. Eric Breeding will make it in. It was close, though. Tyler Logan will follow him in. Logan's still only 1 lap down, actually, after the mid-race disconnect, so that's a little surprising. Okay, now a second behind.
Lap time's about 2 seconds off the pace with fresh tires.
Jan Van Leer from 4th is coming in this time. Zach Lockett will come in, and now Chad Stearns from the lead is in.
He smoked him in there a little bit, but oh no, Zach Lockett's gonna spin it into pit road.
Oh, Lockett.
That's exactly
Big
what
time
we were
problems.
talking about just a moment ago. Oh,
So
and
Lockett-
Cole Maxwell.
Cole Maxwell
is kind of
He's
gonna
gonna
do the
save-
same. He does save it though.
Kept it in bounds there. Lockett may have a penalty. But Chad Stearns from the lead, Jan Van Leer, Zach Lockett, Cole Maxwell, Kevin Sargent, David Fay, all in here on lap number 71.
Wow, look at this. This I am surprised. John Kay gonna continue to stay out.
Going for
Is
the
he-
overcut.
Is he going for the big one? Is he going for the one stopper?
Oh, boy. What
You'd
does he
only
need
have
to
to
target to get it?
He'd only have to make it about, I want to say 9 or 10 more laps. I mean, on this set of tires he has, that is not an easy feat as you see him
Oh,
up
he's into
into
the
the
wall.
wall. The thing is, and I'm curious to see if he does stay out, is at what point do the tires end up just being completely even? Because we saw that it was about a 2-second a gap from fresh tires to old tires. When John Kay's at the end of this run, what will that lap time be? Will it continue to hover right around a 2-second difference, or is it going to get way worse?
Well, here's Kay going low for the first time, and I think
He's
he is
coming
going to
in.
come in. He just wanted a couple more laps on Stearns.
Man, it looked like he carried quite a bit of speed, but he might be okay.
At the line, he was down to 39, so I think he actually, I don't know if he'll be very happy with that. He may have wanted to push it a little bit harder. McKay is in. Zittel, McKinnon, Poliski, Matney, Leo Smith, they all stay out. Matt Schlosser staying out here as well. And then it's Garrett Rainey, who is the leader of those who have pit already, but only by 2 seconds. So Chad Stearns is cutting into that gap almost a second a lap. I mean, he is flat flying around.
There's Jeremy McKinnon, who's stayed out with Gunter and Palumbo rocketing around him. And this is battle for position between Gunter and Palumbo here.
And I want to point this out as well. John Kay at the stripe to exit pit road was getting passed by Chad Stearns. So he is going to have a huge hole to dig out of. Kay actually going to plot into this battle with Freed and Poliski. Right behind Jeremy McKinnon.
I'm very surprised to see John Kay stay out for multiple laps there. I mean, he's losing 2 to 2.5 seconds a lap when he stays out like that. And I mean, the advance. Oh boy, he's getting put in a tough position there as Freed goes to the middle with McKinnon on the top on the old tires.
And Leo Smith has crashed on his way into pit road, and that is going to give him a meatball flag. And boy, it was a really strong run today for the 57, but it may in fact be over. Poliski pitting now from third. That will leave Zittel, McKinnon, and Schlosser left to come down pit road.
They only have to make it about 5 more laps, and it's somewhat possible that they can make it all the way to the end on the last stop. John Kay going to fly underneath of Brody Gunter here. That's about an 8-lap difference in tires. Josh Freed, who was in very, very early, is continuing to move backwards here. Jan Van Leer is going to get around.
John Kay is about 5 seconds behind Chad Stearns. And looking at the lap times, John Kay a 31.64, but a 31.93 for Chad Stearns. So Kay is faster by a few tenths. McKinnon will come in from second, and now that just leaves Zittel and Schlosser as Palumbo just got into the wall.
Well, Garrett Rainey, who's on older tires, slower in front of him. Palumbo was in a tough spot there, didn't really know which way to go. And through all of that, John Kay was able to blast through both of them. A 2-for-1 for John Kay out of 2 there.
Zittel, I think, bailing on the one-stopper and coming down this time. That's just going to leave Matt Schlosser.
We've seen Matt Schlosser run fuel save at a couple of different racetracks, Indy being one of them, but I think he's going to fall a little bit short here today.
Yeah, he tried it in a lot in the ASRL Cup Series on Sundays. But yeah, I think this is maybe a bit too much. Needed a few more laps. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
they needed at least 2 more. I don't know, maybe they learned something there that they might be able to apply and save a little bit more here, but I think they're going to have to save another 3 or 4 laps.
So that will complete the cycle. Chad Stern's the leader by 4.5 seconds over John Kay. Hayden Palumbo is now in 3rd. Garrett Rainey in 4th. Brody Gunter up to 5th. Jan Van Leer, Brantley Gainey, Greg Bradshaw, and Josh Freed will be the top 10. But lots of varying strategies and tire lives throughout this field. Who knows where the momentum lies? Yeah.
Here goes Brody Gunter by Garrett Rainey, who came down. I think Rainey was the first one down out of anybody.
Yes, he was.
I mean, he's probably only going to run another 5 or 10 laps, and he's going to be coming in again. I would say he's going to try and get to maybe the 40 to go lap mark to make his way down pit road, I would have to imagine.
I believe he pit on lap 57, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he did. So, okay, continuing to cut into that gap. It's inside of 4 seconds.
Here's Matt Schlosser on that new set of tires.
Schlosser a lap down.
He's not blowing by Garrett Rainey here. I just have the feeling that he's going to try it.
Maybe.
I mean, if he was pushing at all, he would have been by Garrett Rainey 2 laps ago. But he's not.
We saw that with Brian Mitchell earlier as well, where I thought he was just going to blow by those top 2, and it really took a few laps for him to get around there. But Schlosser may very well also be saving, because history tells us that it's probable.
Kyle Zittel, Cole Maxwell, Eric Breeding all battling for 13th here. Zittel is going to take it away.
Well, the chunks are starting to get slimmer and slimmer for John Kay here. Only a 10th out of the lead that last time around. As Gainey and Rainey, of course, side by side. That's been a while since they've been going at it, though. Garrett going to continue to slide here. Our race control man on Monday nights. And Joshua Matacek flying up on him is a lap down as well, with a lot of damage on that 60 truck from the earlier incident. Hasn't had another caution to get the rest of it fixed. Meanwhile, Jan Van Leer is catching Hayden Palumbo here pretty quickly. He just had side-by-side lap traffic in front of him there.
Poliski, Matney, and Freed were 3 wide there, and it was tight.
Freed headed backwards. Poliski and Matney. Matney's been on the charge here right before this cycle of green flag pit stops kicked off. He was moving forward.
Here comes Jan Van Leer catching Hayden Palumbo.
And Poliski and Matney are going to catch and dispose of Greg Bradshaw pretty quick inside the top 10.
Yeah, Bradshaw was in pretty early as well.
John Kay up front has cut the lead to 2.5 seconds, so he's still digging. And Jan going to have to try and find a way around Palumbo here if he wants a spot on the podium.
Oh, Jan definitely sent it deeper that time. Meanwhile, Matt Schlosser coming up behind him. We'll see what Schlosser decides to do here. As Jan Van Leer and Hayden Palumbo are side by side for a podium spot. Oh, one pretty loose behind. I think that was Brantley Gainey out of 2.
Zach Lockett gets through on Garrett Rainey further back. Takes 7th away. As Jan continuing to go deeper and deeper here into turn number 1.
And Schlosser, again, not in a hurry to go anywhere.
Just hanging out.
Very
The silent
interested to see
assassin.
how that plays out.
Oh, Jan is loose. Rodney Matney up to 9th, Rainey back to 10th now, and Zittel up to 11th on Greg Bradshaw.
Got a couple of our drivers up on the car and side cameras here for us. Josh Matichek back in the suit with the bow tie. Got his shades on today, looking pretty serious about the business here, which I don't blame him. It is serious business.
Hayden Palumbo just got into the wall, and that is finally going to allow Jan Van Leer to get through.
And Matt Schlosser still has not decided to get around these two. Very interested to see how that one plays out.
Hey, this is serious business, you know? It's the Venom Truck Series at Kansas.
You're damn right.
It's the Honey Wagon 201 presented by Southeast Hydrovac, round number 5 of the season. And Chad Stearns is leading. John Kay still chipping away at this lead, but it's just a 10th here and half a 10th there. 2.3 seconds, the gap.
Palumbo is trying to ride that wall. He was right up on it. Nearly got into it again.
Freddie Gunter behind these two in 5th, remember, was one of the earlier drivers down pit road, so he is not closing on these two. As they run now, anyways. But Brantley Gainey is only 0.6 of a second behind Freddie Gunter, but losing out.
Rodney Matney had to make a pretty big save there. Kyle Zittel now going to look underneath. Now Zach Lockett's going to take a look underneath of Josh Matichek. Matichek is a lap down at this point. He was trying that same strategy that Matt Schlosser was a little bit earlier. Didn't come down until lap 78.
But he's still got a ton of damage on that truck as well, so he's not looking to be very competitive. I'm sure just trying to hang on to this truck at this point, as everybody's motoring by. Ooh, that was awfully tight in front of Brantley. Gainey's into the wall. That was nearly contact between Gainey and Poliski, but I'm sure that took the air off the front of his truck, and he went straight into the wall. He'll lose 2 spots. And now we're under the green flag pit cycle once again as Garrett Rainey and Josh Freed are both down pit road. So it opens back up here on lap 96.
A little bit longer than I thought Rainey was going to make it on that set of tires. He was definitely taking care of them better than he did that first time around. Going to give himself just a little less than 40 laps to take her home.
Lead is down to nearly 2 seconds for Chad Stearns. And I hate to even mention it, but the last time Chad Stearns was in victory lane was season 6, I believe. At Michigan when he outdueled Rodney Matney. So it's been a hot minute. We're a couple laps removed from Rainey and Freed coming down pit road. Nobody else has elected to join them yet. And now heavy lap traffic in front of Chad Stearns. But the good news for him is he is started pulling away from John Kay. This is the first time this entire run that Stearns has been faster than the driver behind him. Hayden Palumbo in from 4th, and Brody Gunter is in from 5th.
I was going to say, pit stops are right upon us here. Trying to split it into 34 and 35, maybe 36 lap stints if you were splitting it in the middle. Exactly what these two elected to do.
Now, is this where John Kay triggers the undercut? He's not going to have the chance because Chad Stearns is in, but he's around. Oh, he's going to save it, but he hits the cone, and he may have a penalty to serve. It's not showing that he does. But watch to see when the jack drops if this 05 goes away. John Kay is also in, and he made up a lot of time just by having a clean entry. Rodney Matney in as well.
Let's take a look at the replay real quick for Chad.
And the left sides are down, and he is not driving away.
He definitely ran over that cone on the right side.
Wow. Well, put that one in the jinx column. John Kay is off pit road, and he presumably will cycle out to the lead.
Oh, Zach Lockett with the
Zach
problem
Lockett.
getting down pit road.
Man, that is absolutely killer for Chad Stearns. Andy Poliski in as well.
Still a lot of folks that need to make their way down pit road, all up and down the leaderboard here.
Paul Sargent's going to find himself in the cycle here after going really long on his first stint. Here's Greg Bradshaw now in from the top 5, and he may have just done the exact same thing, hitting the cone. It was awfully close.
I know I
Cole
mentioned
Maxwell
it, but
in.
I may have understated the difficulty of pit entry
Apparently you did.
Yeah, a lot of times we don't talk about it at all. I thought it was worth a mention here tonight, but maybe we really should have put some emphasis on it.
Jan Van Leer, the new race leader, is now down pit road. Brantley Gainey, his teammate, will follow him in, and that gives control of this field to Kyle Zittel.
A lot of activity in the last couple of laps here. Drivers wanting to give themselves just 30 laps or less.
And the bad news for Matt Schlosser is if he's going for it on one stop, he's behind John Kay right now, so it doesn't even matter.
The other thing that Schlosser can go for here is if a caution comes out late.
Oh, he will be money in the bank if he gets a caution right now. A lot fewer drivers on the lead lap. He'll be able to get some fresh tires. So Kay is the leader of those who have come down pit road already. Still waiting on 4 of the top 6 to make their way down pit road, including Schlosser there in 6, David Fay, Kevin Sargent, Jeremy McKinnon, and Kyle Zittel, the holdouts.
Pleasky Pleasky, Rainey going to go 3 wide. Rainey kind of backs out of it to get behind the 32. That was probably for the best. Oh, and I think Matacek, I couldn't tell. I didn't really see it. I was looking at my leaderboard here, but it looked like Matacek hit the wall into 3 pretty decently hard there.
Kevin Sargent, David Fay from 3rd and 4th will be pitting this time. That will just leave Kyle Zittel and Jeremy McKinnon and Matt Schlosser as
and you see
the drivers left to make their service.
The 2 of them with a very, very conservative pit entry coming down onto the apron way before most of our drivers had. And that's just them not thinking it's worth it to try and push it at this point. Just wanting to make sure they don't incur a penalty and they get to bring it home.
Kyle Zittel in from the lead. Jeremy McKinnon will stay out and lead another lap. This race is not going to go the way that he was hoping for, considering the speed that he had early in this one. So now that leaves John Kay 9 seconds clear of Hayden Palumbo. Again, still in second, waiting for McKinnon, but that will be the look for the lead for John Kay. Pretty comfortable.
And John
Meanwhile,
Kay
Chad Stearns is back in 18th.
Yeah, John Kay in 1 lap after Palumbo, so Palumbo doesn't even have any sort of tire advantage or anything. This is John Kay's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, 31.87 for Kay at the line, a 32.17 for Palumbo, so Kay is checking out.
Stacked up for position here. Rainey on Van Leer, Josh Freed, Matt Schlosser all together. Schlosser, of course, on his way backwards on the old tires at this point. That's also David Fay that's right in the middle of that in the 88.
He just came off pit road.
Yeah, he's a lap down, but he did just come off pit road like Tommy mentioned.
Tyler Logan is in to pit road, so I think that truly just does leave Jeremy McKinnon in the lead.
Yeah, I think Matacek and Schlosser, of course.
Oh,
the
and
last
Matt
2 that
Schlosser,
are
yes.
on the major. Actually, I think McKinnon and Schlosser may have been on the same lap. Schlosser was able to save 1 more as Freed and Rainey awful tight off of 2 there.
And here comes McKinnon from the lead. Austin Holyfield says he's pitting this time, and we'll see if Matt Schlosser will come down as well. Or if he'll stretch it another couple laps. And Holyfield too fast entering.
I mean, I think theoretically, Schlosser can really, push it to right around lap 130, I do believe. It'd only be 3 laps to go, 3 or 4 laps to go. So, I mean, if he really wants to commit, he does have that opportunity.
He's about 3/4 of the track ahead of John Kay. Or actually make that about half the track ahead, so not quite in danger of being lapped. See if he can get a late caution. It is Andy Poliski and Bertie Gunter battling for 3rd. But Poliski would love to hang on to a podium here. He needs to kick his season into gear. He's in 10th in the points, and I mean, it's been a pretty unremarkable season for the Season 5 champ thus far. Only one top 10 finish, and it was at Daytona. So a podium would really get his season in motion.
It's unbelievable to me that was that many seasons ago.
Yeah, I know.
It seems like it was just yesterday that he was winning that championship.
Yeah, it's our fifth season in the Venom Truck Series already, and he won his championship in that first season on air back in Season 5. Hard to believe it was that long ago, like you said. Boy, Josh Freed is going backwards here in a hurry. Got passed up by Kyle Zittel on very fresh tires, and now he is right in the mix with Matney and Rainey. He is on the exact same lap tires as Garrett Rainey. Matney a little bit fresher.
Yeah, him and Rainey have been trading back and forth.
That was Tyler Bergert into the wall right in front of Kyle Zittel.
Brody Gunter is starting to reel in Andy Poliski here.
They are in the thick of it there. There's Kevin Sargent and David Fay. Fay got through in the 09 in the pit cycle.
Sargent on fresher tires by a pretty decent margin over Poliski and a few over Gunter as well. Gunter's going to try the bottom here.
Well, these two have a storied history, but it's been a while since they've added a chapter to it. We maybe do. For my own sanity's sake, I hope not, but, you know, hard racers are going to race hard.
Yeah, for the folks out there watching, they might be hoping for it.
I'm sure Andy is it, and he's doing his best to make sure that it doesn't happen. He's trying to keep Gunter behind him and try and get away, but it's not quite happening. The one that's getting away right now is John Kay. He's got a 10-second lead now over his teammate Hayden Palumbo. Palumbo himself only about a second and 3/4 clear on this duo behind him, and they are trading laps back and forth. So the one they may need to watch for is coming up behind him. Jan Van Leer is a few tenths quicker.
Yeah, and Jan came down a few laps after Gunter, a couple laps after Poliski, so has a little bit of an advantage here as well. We'll see if Jan has to get through on Gunter first, and that's going to be a tough task. And then he'll be able to set his sights on Poliski unless something happens between Gunter and Poliski before that.
And this is definitely what Andy wants to see right here. Some space back to the 01, but he got awfully loose there at a 2. And Brody going to have his hands full here with Jan. Greg Bradshaw trying to get into the top 10, making a pass on Garrett Rainey. So ICR is on the move forward. Brantley Gainey in 7th, Jan Van Leer in 5th, about to challenge for 4th. And here's Jan. He's through him. That was not the fight that the 32 was hoping for. Still plenty of laps on the board here.
Yeah, Andy able to extend out a little bit, though, with those two having to go side by side for a moment.
It's up to half a second. And man, Jan is truly on the Reddick line there. I mean, a foot or less off the wall in 3 and 4.
And now down to 1 and 2, he's going to go to the bottom. Definitely a gain there for Jan Van Leer.
Big
He's
gain.
gonna go to the middle in 3 and 4 as well.
We saw Chad Stearns make this move on defense earlier, sticking to the top side. As Jan is getting closer and closer, he's spending less time in the wake of the 32 in the turns.
He really likes it in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, maybe not quite as effective, but see the counter steer out of the 5 there is feels himself getting a little bit loose. Now he goes back to the top in 3 and 4. I think that is the preferred line down there for sure.
And he's making a little bit of gains here. To a truck length now. Has to roll out of it a bit there on the bottom. And we'll tuck back in the line in 4th for now.
At least he's going to protect the top. We'll see what Jan elects to do here.
Jan is higher. Trying to push it harder. He's got more momentum, but is it going to be enough here in the tri-oval to make something happen to the turn 1? Right there on the tailgate. This time, going to go a half a lane lower. He's got the run this time. Can he make something happen? He's got a nose out ahead. Politsky coming back with the momentum on the top side, but Jan hanging pretty evenly here. Has it at the line.
Still out ahead.
And could have cleared up, but decided not to. He may have it in 1 and 2 regardless.
He's just got to make sure he doesn't get tied off at 2 here.
Slides
and he doesn't.
up. Politsky going to try and answer maybe with a crossover. No, he's going to keep the momentum packed in on the rear of the 5 truck who's out in the clean air.
Politsky now has to worry about Brody Gunter, and they all have to worry about Kyle Zittel. Look at the 53 coming to play.
Zittel shot out of a cannon onto the scene. And we talk about Gunter buttering it up. Jan Van Leer for Politsky. They've all been serving themselves for the 53. Oh, Politsky off the wall, nearly down into the side of the 01. Gunter closes the hole for Kyle Zittel. Zittel still going to take it down low. Kyle Zittel muscles ahead of Gunter, all ready to work here on the 32.
I mean, it seems inevitable at this point. That
5
move for
laps to
Zittel,
go.
I mean, he can do almost anything he wants. He forced his way down below Gunter and still made that pass.
A lot of pace on a lot fresher tires here for the 53. He's up to 4th, looking for what would be a 2nd podium in as many nights here on turn 200. After finishing runner-up in Truck 200 last night at Las Vegas. And Matt Schlosser finally going to come down pit road and complete this pit cycle.
Wow. He was so close. Oh, Jan Nearly up into the wall here in 3 and 4. Zittel able to get even off the corner.
Zittel up to third.
And now, finally, Brody Gunter has his shot at Andy Poliski. Oh, Poliski sends it super hard, hits the wall in 3 and 4.
2 to go.
Brody Gunter forces Poliski down onto the apron. They touch into one.
John Cage is hoping to see the white flag.
Oh! Poliski
Oh, boy.
doors Gunter.
They crash. They both crash. K's across the stripe. White flag. The race is official. Yeah.
At the same, Jan Van Leer had a good run on Kyle Zittel to try and take that position back, but not gonna work.
Yeah, we said we were going to add another chapter, and we sure did. But none of that is any concern of John K. K out of turn 4. He's back on the board in season number 9. The reigning champ will take it to Kansas. Aiden Palumbo will bring the Honey Wagon across the stripe to finish in P2. And Kyle Zittel will take the final podium spot. And a disaster behind them. Gunter across the line in 8th. And Poliski going to limp this truck across the line and finish 13th. Good night gone wrong for the 32. We'll have to take a look at that here in a second. Not before John K. gives us an extra couple of laps. We'll let Rob start the timer.
They know him too well. Here's.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we were gonna get some.
I thought so too.
Extracurriculars there.
Apparently not. Win number 11 for John K's first of the season. And his third at a mile and a half. As the customary super kick Alabama gang all lining up at the front stretch. Zittel will be next out to get some burnouts on a hard-fought P3. That's a Alabama gang lockout on the podium. It's only happened a handful of times here on the channel, or rather in the Venom Truck Series. And now they'll all have at it. Ouch.
Oh,
there goes
finally
one.
Somebody blew it up.
That's John.
I think it was John.
Well, while they all continue on, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened there between Gunter and Poliski.
My camera view's not going to help us. Let's take a look. I mean, this kind of starts
3 seasons ago.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, tonight, Gunter gets a big run on Poliski into 3, and Andy tries to send it into 3 to keep him from getting clear. Gunter's going to come up in front of Poliski, and for me, I feel like this is really where it starts for Poliski, as Gunter pretty much forces Poliski almost down onto the apron on the front stretch, and I think that kind of set Poliski off a little bit. As you see the contact from Poliski up to Gunter, a little bit of a retaliation. And then Poliski sends it. He's getting tight off the corner, makes the contact with the 0-1. The 0-1 comes back down the racetrack. And Poliski hits hard on the inside wall. Brody Gunter hit the outside wall pretty darn hard there as well. But, yeah, I mean, that's just a case of 2 drivers that have absolutely no love lost between the 2 of them.
Certainly not. So we'll see how that all unfolds as the carcass of the John K truck is being pushed around for the Polish victory lap by Luke Peterson and Eric Breeding. We'll go ahead and give you the full finishing rundown here as it's an Alabama gang podium lockout here tonight. They are going to take all the hardware. John K with career victory number 11th, his first of the season. Hayden Palumbo back on the podium. Kyle Zittel back on the podium. We'll talk to these 3 gentlemen here in just a second. Jan Van Leer will finish in P4, match his season best finish, and that's 2 top 5s in a row for Brantley Gainey, who will bring it home in 5th. Rodney Matney, how about a P6 finish for him here tonight? That is far and away his best of the season. Josh Freed back to his consistent ways in 7th. Brody Gunter will bring it home in 8th. Greg Bradshaw will finish in spot number 9. That is a new, that is not a new best finish. That is his 2nd top 10 finish of the season, however. Zach Lockett will bring it home in the top 10. Jeremy McKinnon was coming up there late, will only back up to 11th. Garrett Rainey will finish in 12th. Andy Polisko will be the last driver on the lead lap in 13th. Cole Maxwell will finish in 14th. Eric Breeding in 15th. And don't forget the Car Inside in-season tournament starting next week. It is a 16-driver seeded tournament. So the 16 seed, Chad Stearns, will go up against John K in the battle we thought we were going to get tonight. So we'll just postpone it for 1 week, I guess. But Stearns going to be awfully disappointed in 16th. David Fay in 17th, Kevin Sargent, Paul Sargent, Luke Peterson, your top 20, Tyler Logan in 21st. Matt Schlosser will end up 2 down in 22nd, and that is his first misstep of the entire season. Joshua Maticek in 23rd, Josh Jackson running in 24th, Steve Roman running in 25th, and then DNF's 4. Austin Holyfield, Tyler Bergert, Brian Mitchell, Leo Smith, Ryan Dye, and Pascal Samard, the 31 drivers that started tonight's race. And it's only been a little bit under 24 hours since we've talked to this man. He was the runner-up last night in Truck 200 at Las Vegas, and he'll bring it home P3. More than decent. Kyle Zittel is back in booth 200. Welcome in, partner.
Thank you, boys. Good to be back.
You were getting your elbows out there late, pushing hard on a lot fresher tires, but you still had to work for it there, getting through 3 of the toughest drivers in the league there in the late in the going. That's no easy feat.
Yeah, man. The second run, we were watching people come down, and I said, I think I'm going to go to like 30 to go, and it ended up being 29 or 28 when I crossed the line. And I had actually just run 27 laps the previous stint, so I knew it was going to be tough sledding. The first couple laps, I threw it out there the exact same way after I came in, and it was not sticking the same way. And I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to change something real quick. But man, we were hauling the mail there at the end. Yeah, it was nuts. It was a good finish.
Oh, it was a good ass finish. Don't sell yourself short. Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run. I mean, you're going on a little bit of a streak here on the channel between a couple of series we got going on. I mean, what's gotten into the 53? You're feeling good out there.
Feels good, man. It's a good stretch. It's a good stretch of asphalt we've been on. Vegas, nothing but top 5s here. this track last year, or the last time we ran it, I looked, it was 0 cautions, started 9th, finished 10th, and I was like, all right, we can improve on that. And man, this came into my wheelhouse again. I don't know how, but saving tire, I thought I was saving a little bit of tire better than some people. And then that first run, the long run, people were pitting, and Garrett kind of asked me, hey, you gonna come down? And I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna run the Steve Verman strategy. I'm gonna run this thing dry, see what happens, and then have the fresher tires and blow past everybody. And I did that first time, and I was just hoping and praying that I did the second time. I knew I was catching Brody and Andy, and I got to them, and Jan was up there, and we were running hard. And I mean, I looked up, and he got in the wall. I don't know if I put him in the wall or anything like that. If I did, it definitely wasn't intentional. I wanted to pass him clean, catching him every single lap. But man, P3 feels pretty good, knowing I really didn't have P1 speed. I was never up there close enough to get to have the to be with John and even with Chad before he got his penalty. But climbing through the field like that feels pretty good.
And like Matt said, you've had fantastic pace for the most part the last few races on the channel overall. But there have been a couple of disaster races in there as well. But it's nice to not have those be combo breakers and actually be able to persevere and show off the pace that we know that you have. So, in the last 4 races here in the Venom Truck Series, that is 3 top 5s and now a podium finish. First one of the season for you. And well on your way to securing a berth in the chase here as well. Congrats on a strong run here tonight and a great follow-up to last night. Let's get some shout-outs for you.
Absolutely. Shout out to the whole league. Shout out to the boys. Running every Tuesday night. Feels really good running around the same guys. We're all getting a little better. Everybody's doing their thing. It's really nice. Shout out to Billy Bad Bud himself, Nathan Reynolds, painted up a beautiful truck. The Jordan paint scheme on there, it's running pretty good. 2 top 5s in a row. Shout out to my beautiful wife, of course, my folks, my family, everybody watching, and you guys, of course.
Well, thank you, partner. Congrats on the first podium of the season, and let's go get you another one next week. What do you say?
Yes, sir. Feels pretty good.
All righty. We'll talk to the driver that sponsored tonight's event, and he will take another podium finish here this season. Welcome in, Hayden Palumbo. Driver 54 will go P2 here tonight. How about it?
How y'all doing? That was not what I was expecting, to be honest with you. I knew I'd run a little better than Auto Club, because at Kansas you can use a little more momentum to run the top. So I kind of felt like I had that figured out, but a little bit of strategy and just holding it together there in those long runs paid off. So
it's nice that we finally got long runs for it to pay off. But what was the strategy here tonight? Because there were no 2 drivers that pitted on the same lap in both cycles. It was everybody throwing it at the wall and seeing what was going to stick. What was your mindset heading in?
Undercut when me and Kyle, and I'm not even sure who, I think it may have been Chad Stearns up under us. I had no idea he was there. When we kind of passed through the grass and lost all the track position, I knew I had a little bit of pace. I wasn't nearly as fast as probably even Jan and Andy and a bunch of those guys, but it was definitely undercut them. I knew I could turn pretty quick laps on fresh tires. So it was, hey, I got to, lose as little time as possible and then gain as much as I possibly can off of pit road.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great run here tonight. We talked about throughout the broadcast how the track temperature was a lot cooler in practice than it was throughout the race, and it actually continued to get warmer and warmer throughout the race. From the drop of the green flag. Could you tell it out on the racetrack with the type of lines you were able to run, maybe from the beginning of the race and maybe a little bit different towards the end of the race? And how do you think that came into play throughout the evening?
Yeah, I think it. There at the beginning, it was okay. Like you could pretty much hold it wide open all the way around. Um, and then kind of towards the end of that first run, it got really loose. And it didn't matter if you went to the top or if you went to the bottom. It was loose everywhere. The second run was kind of more of the same, and I actually kind of fought tight the second run until it did loosen up, which is probably maybe 10, 12 laps into it. And then the third run, it was really tight if you were trying to run the bottom, but once you got up to the top, you could just kind of lift off the gas, there on corner entry, and then you could gas it right back up, and it just stuck. So I kind of think that's where I needed to put it, so I did, and kept it in second. So.
Well, second podium of the season for you. Congrats. Congrats on the team podium lockout as well. Let's get some shout outs for you.
Shout out the Southeast Hydrovac guys. I don't know if they're watching or not, but shout out to them. We still got the best looking truck in the field, no doubt. And then it was a good run tonight. Kind of throughout the whole league, I think was maybe 2 cautions. So hopefully we put on some pretty decent racing. All the folks watching, thanks for supporting you guys. I didn't shout out you guys, I guess, when I won. So shout out Turn 200. I felt bad about it after. Alabama gang super kick. It's a good run. I think we had locked down, the podium, and then I think we had 4 or 5 in the top 10. So, it was a good run altogether.
We don't need the shout outs, especially at a night like current. I know you won the race, but man, that took like an hour and 40 minutes. Hey, everybody's just wanting to get up and get out after that. So
I definitely was.
Yeah. Well, way to get back on the podium here tonight. Congrats on another one. We'll talk to you again here soon.
All right, we'll see you, boys.
And now, start the timer. It is John K. in booth 200 for the second night in a row, but was a non-participant last night tonight. Not only is he a participant, but he is a race winner for the 11th time in his Venom Truck Series career. Welcome back to the booth as a race winner, partner.
Howdy. It's good to be here. It's been a while.
Well, I mean, it was going to be an interesting battle there until it wasn't. Chad Stearns having the penalty there late, and that set you off to just run away with it by nearly 11 seconds over your teammate there, Hayden. But, I mean, an interesting kind of race before that. 3 cautions, very start and stop at the beginning of this one, and then all of a sudden you were in for the run to the checkers with almost 100 laps to go there. Were you expecting it to... or I guess, were you prepared for it to run all the way to green to the end after that third caution?
Not with the way it started, that's for sure. I was like, good Lord, like, what is going on back there? But then I figured, at some point, if we'll run out of trucks to wreck. So I was like, as long as I'm not one of them, we're okay. And the third caution came out, and I was like, oh, I could pit here. Still kind of in a weird spot, but if I stay out, I'm still in a weird spot. And I didn't know what the heck to do, so I just, followed Jeremy and ended up pitting that one time. I was like, oh, we're in a weird spot no matter what we do. Staying out would have been a death sentence at that point. I think it was like lap 30 or something. But like the middle caution, the second caution, it was definitely like, this would be a weird spot to pit, but it's also kind of a weird spot not to. So it was just like hoping you made the right decision. But it was a good time. Good time.
So on that first pit cycle there, you were trying to catch Chad. You end up going a few laps longer than him. You're usually the guy to undercut. Was running the tank out always the plan there? Did it change based on what Chad did? Did you want those fresh tires later in your second green flag run there?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to offset it a little bit, and I did want to try running a little longer just to see, just to see what the other side's like for once. When it comes to pitting, I don't think I've ran long when I'm racing somebody in just about ever. But no, I felt pretty good. So I was like, running about the same speed as him. We'll run a couple laps longer. But I think I felt pretty fast, and I know that like first run, I was quicker than him for a good portion of it. He was doing a lot of air manipulation and making it tough, taking away the line at the perfect time of when I wanted to run it. So I was like, oh, we'll do something a little different. Maybe the tire offset will be in my favor, and I can scoot around him kind of easily, and didn't even end up getting back to him before pit stops rolled back around again because it was just such in a weird spot. And then that happened. That last pit stop happened. So that's racing. That's NASCAR. That is
boy.
fucking NASCAR.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations. I got another question just to warn Tommy, so don't cut me off after John talks for
brother.
3 or 4 minutes.
I'm gonna cut you off.
But you've won quite a few races here in the Venom Truck Series, and this isn't like a crown jewel race. This isn't, this is kind of your, I don't want to say run of the mill, but it's a mile and a half. Like we run quite a few throughout a season. I mean, what does a race like this, winning a race like this, feel like compared to some of your others? Or maybe after Las Vegas, does this feel like a little redemption?
Well, I mean, winning any race feels good, right? It's so hard to win in this league, and you see it week to week. I mean, Chad was the dominant truck. Like, let's be honest, he was up front the most. I felt like I was faster, but I couldn't get around him. So he was dominating and controlling the race, and he ended up not winning this one. And like, how often do we really see the dominant truck end up winning the race? So like any race win special, you can be either the most dominant truck and lose it, or you can be, 4th or 5th fastest and come out on top because of tire strategy or whatever. So, I mean, they're all special. You gotta, it's cliche, because everybody says it. I mean, all the NASCAR racers say it. I mean, you celebrate it like it's your last one because you don't know when it's going to be. And dang, it's been a minute since I won. I won an official a couple of weeks back, and I was like, huh, this is what it feels like. I forgot what that was like. And yeah, it's been a rough start to the season. I don't think I would have had anything for Luke at Vegas. I would have liked to have at least been out there and gave him a run for his money, but he was so fast there that I'd have been cool running second or third there. I was cool with running second here. It's quite the mentality shift from, I feel like when I first came back racing, when I moved into my apartment, I was just like, I'm going to win every freaking race I can. And now it's like, yeah, if I run second, I run second. If I win, I win. Like, I'm going to be pumped if I win, and I'm going to celebrate a bunch. But like, second's cool sometimes, sometimes you just kind of have to settle with it and be like, did as good as we can, on to the next week. So this one's pretty big especially after the first 2 weeks. It just feels good to be running good again.
Alrighty, so here's the second parter to this. And for those of you out there that are going to be confused by this question, you need to go watch the Venom cast, the latest episode with John.
That's not where I thought this was going.
John Kay as the host, and Matt Schlosser, a great guest. Of course, Kyle Zittle there as always. What Cookie Monster gif would you use to describe the win here today? Or your feeling, or what your post race feeling after this one? What's the gif?
I have to go find. There's a good one I saw the other day.
Oh boy.
Dakota posted it. The whoa me no believe it. That one. That was so. Yeah. Because like I said, I was just following. I kind of was forced to. Like I said, Chad did a good job of controlling the lanes. It making it tough to pass, honestly. But coming down pit road, I was like, well, I'm going to try and jump him in the pit stop. And then Brody pit, and he obviously announced he was pitting in. And I see Chad up in the third lane. I see him start moving his way down the track. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. You're not supposed to pit until like a lap or two from now. I'm supposed to jump you on this one. And he starts coming down pit road, and I see him all sorts out of control. And I'm like busy watching it. I'm like, is he really about to like spin out coming onto pit road right now? And I saw the cone go flying, and then I was like, I like looked up and I was doing like 75 and I was like, oh shit, I have a job to do right now. Like I need to stop. So yeah, I saw Chad kick the cone. I made it to pit road speed, did my part, and yeah, so it was yeah. that's the Cookie Monster gif I'd use. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Well, great stuff as always. It's great to get you back in victory lane here. Welcome back. Second podium of the season, first win, 11th of your career with the Venom Truck Series. Congrats. Let's get some shout outs for you.
Thank you. Shout out my girlfriend, Allie. She's awesome. She told me that I was going to have to do the dishes for the next month and a half straight if I didn't finish on the podium tonight.
Wow.
So, yeah, so she's got some work to do.
I'm sure she'll be thrilled to hear that.
No, it's fine. Oh, here she comes. I'm in trouble now. Yeah, go to the kitchen. Get to work.
Yikes.
Does that make the quote wall? Is that good enough?
I think it's gonna be pretty damn close.
No, I'm just kidding. She did threaten me. She said I better finish on the podium tonight, or she was gonna make me do some chores before we get to work at Eldora here shortly once it warms up. So I'm still gonna have to do the chores, unfortunately, but yeah, it's gonna feel a hell of a lot better watching the replay back. A shout out to my mom and dad. You know, they gave birth to me and they did the stuff to, you know, whatever. Raised me. That stuff. They raised me. Jeez, get your head out of the gutter. My God.
Okay.
It made me the person I am today. Why are you like this? You're horrible.
Vega will never sponsor this man.
Yeah, I've thought about emailing them and I'm like, yeah, probably not a good idea. Shout out the whole team. Garrett, Eric, Paul wasn't here, obviously. Brody, Kyle, Luke, Eric. I think I got Eric twice, but that's okay. Hayden. All did a really good job tonight. I mean, we tore it up. I mean, took the top 3 spots of the podium. That's tough to do. It's harder to get all 3 teammates on the podium. It's harder to do that than to win a race. So just happy to be the one to lead them home. Got a good team trying to keep the Alabama gang on top. And shout out you guys for all the great work you do. I mean, letting me in the booth last night, which after this interview, I don't know if that'll happen again, but you know, I had fun the one time I got to do it. And you guys just do such great stuff. So appreciative of you guys. And then shout out Bobby Pierce. I'm wearing Bobby Pierce's t-shirt. You know, I said, if we're going to have to run the wall, we might as well wear the shirt of one of the best to do it. So I think that helped.
Wow.
I think I got everybody.
Shout out an Illinois boy.
Yeah. He's the man. His dad's awesome too. He's like, he gave me, I got this t-shirt for free because of his dad and mom. So shout out all the Pierces.
All right. Well, I don't think this is the longest John K interview that we've had, but they're all long.
I hope. Well, that's, you know.
But well deserved here tonight. Welcome back to Victory Lane. Congrats on getting on the board here in season number 9. We'll talk to you again here soon, I'm sure. But go party hard, go celebrate, and go scrub those dishes. By golly,
I'm sure you're looking forward to me coming back after this.
No, we are for sure. Great job here tonight. We'll talk to you again here soon.
Yes, sir.
For those curious, 11 minutes 25 seconds.
That's not even in the top
definitely
5.
Not the longest. Yeah, it might be in the top 5, but definitely not in the top 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking championship, definitely the longest. Watkins Glen for some reason the second longest. That one went like 15 minutes. Yeah.
I actually think Watkins Glen was longer than the championship.
It might have been. Yeah, it's a big deal to win there. And it's a big deal to win here tonight as well. He's back on the board. And off to the races. That's your reigning series champion. No doubt will be back into the top 10 in the points. Next week, we'll have the Car Inside in-season tournament kicking off with round number 1. Next week, we're in Iowa. So that is going to be a great place to start that one. The top 16 finishers from tonight's race in a seeded bracket, all going to be racing against each other. That'll be fun. Tonight was an interesting one. We had one caution for every 10 laps of racing to start this one off, and then 100-lap run to finish off the race. Strategy all across the board, and drivers literally beating and banging until the last lap. So, I mean, there was something for everybody here tonight.
You know, I think we've said this a couple of times now at this point. Kansas is just becoming one of those racetracks that puts on really good races in league racing. I don't know what it is, but it used to be a very one-line racetrack, and they did something to it where it is a very racy. You can get all over the joint on this thing and make all the lanes work. So it's been a fun one. This one was not any different. So yeah, shout out to the drivers for putting on a good show for us, especially that big long run to the end. We always love to see that. Thank you to everybody that was in the chat today as well. Lindsey G, Rob Williams, Bailey Marie Matacek, Robin Matacek was here as well. Stickers McQueen, Paul Ellison, Mr. Jacob Nagy himself, Ryan Dye, unfortunately, in here pretty early after his incident. Brian K, Lisa Kelly, Josh Maxwell, Cole Maxwell, I should say, sorry. And the straight white male is in the chat.
Very enthused.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. And we got some more for you, and it's not a fake out this time. It's for real.
Nope, it's for realsies. We're starting it up again Thursday night. The Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series from Daytona. Season opener kicks off at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday night, we're Jumpy Truck Racing once again. It is the Special Stage Pro Truck Series from the Charlotte Rallycross course at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for that one, with a heat racing format and all that fun stuff. That will be fun. It is our postseason opener. The chase kicks off Monday night for Truck 200 from Indianapolis at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And we'll be back in action here next Tuesday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time from Iowa on John Kay's birthday. And it will be the start of the Car Inside in-season tournament as well. So excited for all that. Excited for a lot of racing to be happening here on Turn 200, and some cool announcements in the works as well for some extra fun stuff for everybody. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. Come join our Discord server if you want some more information or want to be pointed in the right direction of some fun leagues to be a part of as well. That's all we got for you here tonight. Thank you to everybody with the Venom Truck Series. Thank you to the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson. Until we meet again here from Kansas Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congrats to your reigning series champion, John Kay, for getting back to victory lane and taking his 11th career victory in the Honey Wagon 201 presented by Southeast Hydrovac.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.